Hi everyone, in case you forgot, I'm Caitlin. This is Maria, Brawley, and Stormy. So according to the Office of Adolescent Health, New Mexico was found to have the highest teen pregnancy rate in the U.S. in 2008. The four of us are not personally teen moms, but I can say I've been affected by it multiple times in my life. So how have I been affected by it? First, my mom got pregnant when she was 15, and she had my sister at 16, and by the time she was 19, she had 2 more kids. So it was my sister Kaylee, Caitlin, Kayla. Given that I was born when my mom was so young, I was really close in age to my uncles and my aunts. I have an uncle that's 2 years older than I am, and I have aunts, it goes about from 2 years to like 10 years older than me. So my aunt ended up giving up her first daughter up for adoption because she was raped as a teen. And then I had my other aunts who were also teen moms. My brother got his girlfriend pregnant when he was in high school. She ended up having an abortion. And then lastly, my sister, my oldest sister, kind of continued this cycle because now, by the age of 20, she's going to have 2 kids. As you can see, this picture is kind of light, but on the left, this is Lydia, and on the right, that's Kaylee, and they're both teen moms. For the purpose of this speech, I'll be referring back to them at the end. The majority of us in this room have seen teen pregnancy in action. We found that out by the survey. We pretty much all said that we've seen teen pregnancy. So we know the problems that it causes. We know the stress that it puts on the family and the baby. We know all those problems. Teen pregnancy is a problem in New Mexico, and it can be changed, or we can help this change by practicing safe sex. Furthermore, we will talk about the extent of the issue in New Mexico, how we can fix this issue, why you should even care about making this change, and finally, we will ask you to take the safe sex pledge. I'll now hand the floor over to Brawley, and she'll tell you about why this is a problem.
In the survey we made, you guys fill out, majority of you guys said teen pregnancy is a problem. Teen pregnancy is unsafe sex. A little over 50% of you guys said you've had or are having unsafe sex. Therefore, you guys are still thinking like teenagers, not educated adults. Everyone in this class is considered an adult, and Guttmacher Institute states that New Mexico views teens as adults in all teen pregnancy matters. If we are all adults and we can't practice safe sex, how do we expect teens to practice it? Teens are not out of high school yet. Most of them don't have a job or a job that financially supports them in all aspects of their life. They're barely learning what adult responsibilities are like. So if they're not financially stable themselves, how are they supposed to care for another child, a human being, that costs a ton of money? This will cause problems for us. As teen pregnancy increases, taxes will increase, because we're going to have to pay for the welfare of these teens and their babies. They're barely learning how to care for themselves, and they haven't even started their own lives yet. They don't know what it's like to have a successful adult happy life yet. And so how are they supposed to teach a child or a baby what it's like to grow up in a successful happy life? They shouldn't be worrying about someone else's future when they themselves have not even started their future or don't know what they want to do with their lives. Teen pregnancy is very bad for health of the teenager and the baby. They can be at high risk for health problems. According to WebMD, pregnant teens are more likely to become diagnosed with postpartum depression because they feel isolated and scared, and they don't have a way out. They don't feel like they can talk to their parents, and they don't feel like they can talk to their friends because they don't think they'll understand, or they don't have anyone they can confide in because they're scared and they don't know what to do. They also feel insecure, and high school's already a place to feel insecure, so this just adds to it. And they're unable to care for the baby. Most teens don't have the knowledge or the financial means to provide prenatal care to a baby and themselves, which is a huge health risk for the baby and themselves, which can lead to physical and cognitive defects of the child, like neural tube defects, like Down syndrome. And that can even bring up financial means because they need to pay for medical things for the baby now. They can also lead to underdeveloped babies, and they can lead to miscarriages, which can be psychological on the mom losing a baby at that young. Most of these girls are barely developed themselves, and thus undeveloped mothers leads to underdeveloped babies, which puts them both at high risk during the pregnancy. Girls' bodies that are not able to carry a baby yet will lead to death of the child or miscarriages, and that can be detrimental to the health of the mom, and it can lead to psychological problems of the mom. With teen pregnancy arises so many problems such as decreased high school graduates, decreased number of teens pursuing higher education, poverty, and STD spread. This is an issue throughout the state and needs to be addressed. Stormy is going to talk to you about options and solutions for safe sex.
Alright, so the purpose of practicing and understanding safe sex is to prevent pregnancy and stop the spread of STDs. There are many variations of birth control available, over-the-counter and prescription-based. There's also another way to prevent pregnancy, which is to prevent pregnancy and stop the spread of STDs, which is to delay or not have sex at all, which is, according to girlshealth.org, is the only way to have 100% prevention against pregnancy or STDs. So right here are some, on this side are some birth controls, like here's the prescription-based birth controls are the cervical cap, the diaphragm implantable rod, which is this one right here, the copper cross, the hormonal type cross, oral contraceptives, which are the pill, the patch, shot, and a vaginal ring, which is, I believe, this right here. So prescription-based birth control is prescription-based because everyone's body is different. In order to get these, you have to talk to your doctor so they can find what's right for you, because you might have allergic reactions, or you might be taking another drug that is going to cancel out that birth control. So talking to your doctor would be the best way to find the right birth control for you. There's also over-the-counter birth control, which is the contraceptive sponge, also known as today's sponge, the female condom, and the male condom. According to girlshealth.org, condoms are the only protection that prevents STDs. Female condoms do protect some, but not as well as the male condom. And if there is an event of which you do become pregnant, there are also contraceptives that help that, like the Plan B pill, which has become more readily available to women and has less restrictions on who or how old you are to get it. And according to the CDC, 7,500 teenagers become pregnant from the ages of 15 to 19, and 300,000 of those pregnant women give birth. In the event that you have become pregnant, you should know these options and plans available, and there are resources to help you. On campus, there is the Student Health and Counseling, or the SHAC, and it is located right outside the sub. There is also helplines and online services that help in planning pregnancy, and there is the Planned Parenthoods in Albuquerque and in Rio Rancho. There's one up near Nob Hill, so that one's really close by. So another option for pregnancy is abortion or adoption. The laws in Albuquerque are legal for abortion, and there is no wait period for women, but the procedure must be done by a licensed and professional doctor. And as far as adoption, there are sources available for adoption as listed here, like childwelfare.gov. So these are the solutions to have a safe sex life and prevent unplanned pregnancy on the spread of STDs. Now Maria will present the benefits and consequences of teen pregnancy.
At 16, I was sure my boyfriend Ryan and I would make things work. We got engaged, And when Bentley was first born, we were a happy little family. I was even able to graduate from high school on time.
Macy, Deshawn. Thank you.
And I enrolled in a local community college. But I soon found out that having a baby made homework a lot harder.
So as we are familiar with Teen Mom, and this is a recap of 16 and Pregnant, teenage parents go under a lot of stress with their lives, high school, and college in this case. So I will be talking to you about the benefits and consequences of becoming a teenage parent in high school, college, and adult life. This is supposed to say adult life up here. Something happened. So let's just pretend it says adult life there, okay? So the benefits of not becoming a teenage parent in high school. This is a senior activity. It's a senior prank. They put up the high school for sale. So a lot of high school students engage in high school pranks, which means sneaking out of your house in the middle of the night to go vandalize your school. And sometimes you get caught and you can spend the night in jail, but it's all worth it because it's part of your senior activity. There's also senior ditch day. There's a bunch of senior things that you do your senior year that you just love. And then there's prom. Who doesn't love going to prom? You get to wear a tuxedo, you get to wear a beautiful gown, you get to ride in a limo all around downtown screaming like a maniac out of the car window, because that's what I did. And you get to go and have a blast and dance with your friends. And after that, shortly comes graduation. And yes, this is a picture of High School Musical, but they did graduate. So graduation is a last milestone in your grade school, and it's part of growing up. So all of this comes without having a kid. So if you become a teenage parent, you probably won't be able to sneak out of your house and go vandalize your school, because who would take care of your kid? And if you end up getting caught and go to jail, who's going to take care of your kid? And then Child Protective Services will take your kid away because you were in jail. Prom, you can't go to prom. You'll have to find a babysitter. It's very limited. You'll be worried about your kid. You'll be wondering if they're safe, if they've eaten. And that's not what prom is about. You have to have fun. In graduation, well, in New Mexico, the graduation rate of just the whole graduation rate is 67% according to governing. And out of the teenage parents or moms who are still in high school, only 40% of them actually graduate from high school. And this is according to the National Conference of State Legislators. So, moving forward to college. So, college is supposed to be the time where you move away from your parents and you gain independence. Like we see here, they're helping settle her into her dorm. Well, there's no room in there for a crib. You have a roommate. Your roommate's not going to want to hear your kid cry at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, seeing at 9 over there. So, there's no room for that. You'll have to probably do other options which make it harder on you. And then you have activities in college. You can study abroad to Europe, South America, and most of these places where you study abroad to, you do a home and board, or you stay with the host family. The host family probably won't want your kid there. And the school is paying for you, not you and your kid. So it also limits your activities in school. And spring break, come on. College students go to spring break. You can't bring your kid to Cabo San Lucas or Cancun. It's just not going to work. You're going to be hammered and have your kid crying in the background. It doesn't work. And graduation, UNM has a 31% graduating rate. That is very low in all. So if that's already low, adding a kid, and it states here that women who become pregnant in college or have kids and go to college are 65% less likely to graduate, and this information comes from collegeresults.com. So, bringing forward to adulthood. Once you're an adult, you've graduated from high school, you've graduated from college, you still have no kids, you find that special someone that makes you warm inside, you decide to marry them or live together, you have a strong, committed relationship. After that, you're financially stable because you graduated from college, and you have a nice home in the suburbs. And after you have a nice home, a strong relationship, and you're financially stable, you can then raise a family all together. And this is the ultimate goal, which can be limited and not guaranteed if you become a teenage parent. So, in order to follow this, I have a fun fact for you guys. Less than half of high school students know how to properly use a condom. And we are all high school students, right, because we graduated. So we're in that quota. So probably we still don't know how to even use a condom. So this is a 60-second refresher of how to properly use a condom.
Knows how to put on a condom properly. When done correctly, the look and function of a well-fitting condom can elevate your lovemaking to new heights. Putting on the perfect condom is all about patience and timing. The earlier you start, the better. Most men leak fluids before and after ejaculation. So the perfect time to put on a condom is any time after the pants drop, but before you get too hot. Inspect your condom before using. The typical condom comes sealed and rolled into a ring. Sometimes they can be old and brittle or even torn. Throw these away. These are not your perfect condom. Place a few drops of lubricant inside the tip. Lightly pinch it with one hand, leaving a half-inch space at the tip to collect love juice. Then, with your other hand, roll the condom all the way down, like putting on a ski mask. Finally, smooth out any air bubbles. They can cause the condom to break, and nobody wants that. Now just a couple drops of lubricant on the outside of the condom, and you're ready to roll. Just remember, the perfect condom is only used once. So don't recycle, and seriously, don't skip any of these steps. A well-fitting condom is a thing of art, so make that boner beautiful. Because putting on the perfect condom is another important skill of the perfect person.
So this was courtesy of BuzzFeed on YouTube, and if you have any other questions or concerns, BuzzFeed does a whole thing on contraceptives for females and males, and they all have a little kick to them. So, and I'll now turn the floor to Caitlin.
So we've given you all the information you need. We've talked about why teen pregnancy and unwanted pregnancy is a problem and the benefits of taking this issue by practicing safe sex. My family has experienced many of these issues discussed here, and after so long, we've begun to take this issue seriously because we don't want this cycle to continue. I didn't cite this picture at the beginning because I wanted to bring you guys full circle without giving away that this is my family. This is my mom, Lydia. This picture was taken, she was probably 16 at the time because she had my sister at 16, and this is my dad. And the baby, Kaylee, is actually the mom in this photo. So, not to knock my parents, because I had a good childhood, and most kids that have divorced parents so young, they have some issues with it, but I had a good childhood. But by the time my mom was 19, I had me, my sister Kaylee, and my younger sister Kayla. And by the time I was probably 3, my parents had already divorced. So I grew up with split parents, and we had a weird thing. I had Christmas one year with them, and then Christmas one year with this family. It was all over the place. And then by the time, or now my sister, you can't really tell, but she has like she has a baby bump right here. Zaylee was born last year on May 23rd. My sister is now having a baby on May 9th because her and her boyfriend didn't practice safe sex like they should have. But she's now 20, so by the time she's 20, she's going to have 2 kids, and her boyfriend is no longer in the picture. So you can imagine the stress that that's going to put on her life and my 2 nieces' life. You can imagine that. It's going to be hard. So given that my family is beginning to take this issue seriously, I'm asking you guys to do the same. We're asking for you guys to take the Safe Sex Pledge. If not to protect your own future, then to be a role model for the teenagers that look up to you. This is actually from the Pledge website, and I'll read it to you real quick. It's, I pledge to practice safe sex and to get regularly tested for sexually transmitted diseases, regardless of whether or not I have symptoms. I believe proper use of contraception is the easiest way for a sexually active person to prevent pregnancy and STDs. Again, it's like takeaction.com. Also, if you guys know any teens that are engaging in risky behavior and you care about them, you don't want them to get pregnant, you don't want them to have STDs, inform them, let them know, tell them about this website, or take them somewhere where they can get the things that they need. Thank you guys for listening, and please consider what we have said, and then enjoy this quick clip.
I guess I'll never know what I missed on that first day of health class.
Don't have sex, because you will get pregnant and die. Don't have sex in the missionary position. Don't have sex standing up. Just don't do it, promise? Okay, everybody take some rubbers.
And this is courtesy of a YouTube video being World Coach Podcast. So, we're going to show you guys our references real quick. And quite a bit. And please pay attention, guys. I don't want any of y'all to have gonorrhea herpes, okay?
So no love,
no love. Any questions? No? Okay.
Are you guys starting?
I can finally get my life together.